the gas-based industry that Indorama plan to create. The two companies look at their positions, and we discover that we have some complementary capability that we can bring together to fit into overall Nigerian strategy for gasification, which is intended to enhance the utilization of gas in country. The scope of the project involves delivery of gas, which will require us to do some drilling and development activities. It will require us to emplace a very robust gas delivery infrastructure through pipeline, but most importantly, it will also incorporate a liquid management solution in the form of condensate refinery. Overall, the anticipation is that at the peak of the project, about 800 million scope of gas will be made available for domestic use, part of which will be used to provide the needed quantity of gas by Indorama, and the balance be supplied to the domestic market to meet power demand, commercial and other activities, particularly in the eastern Nigeria. Following the evaluation, it was very clear, like I said earlier, that there's significant alignment between our companies. And that alignment helped us to come together to agree that we need to develop it further. And to set the stage, it was anticipated that we're going to enter into a memorandum of understanding. The memorandum of understanding is basically to provide a platform through which partners will come into our business and also go into their business with the whole sole purpose to ensure a mutual capture delivery of value across the entire value chain of the hydrocarbon step. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So today we're here just to put pen to paper in terms of the intention that the GCO directed. And therefore we'd like to thank the leadership of the NNPC and the Indorama leadership for giving us the opportunity to provide this particular exercise. So thank you very much, GCO. Without further ado, I will just hand over to Harakia. Thank you.
Let me start with the end in sight. I'd like to thank you for coming here, so there will be no vote of thanks. Thank you very much for serving your evening and coming here on a Saturday to underscore the seriousness of what we are doing and our intention to deliver it, not just intention, our determination to deliver this project. No doubt, our laws are very clear. The Petroleum Industry Act was specific. The NNPC must do everything possible specific to NNPC to ensure that we harness the abundant gas resources in our country. So it's a requirement of the law for NNPC. But more than anything, we're a gas country with associated oil. We have always focused on oil. And today is the moment of gas all over the world, not just because the world needs it, but it is also agreed that it is a transition fuel that everyone needs and everyone can rely on. And Mr. President's directives were very clear, which also fits into the determination of NNPC to ensure that we deliver on our gasification projects. That whoever needs gas, because it is available, we must make it available so that industries can come up, power can be created, and ultimately employments will come, resources will be created, economy will boom. So it's clear, there's a huge connection between harnessing gas resources and this. And therefore, when Mr. President said, find gas for Indorama, we had no difficulty with coming up with a solution. And the solution is very, very simple. We have resources. We'll make available the additional gas that is required. We will partner with Indorama so that we sweat the upstream assets and also produce the gas and go down the chain and create the midstream facilities or industries, urea, fertilizer, increased fertilizer production, and of course including the creation of a condensate refinery. They're very practical, and we're happy of the commitments of Indorama that they are out to to invest at least $7 billion on this project, short term, and perhaps this will open more gateway for us to do more business with you and with others. And therefore, this country is on the threshold of making value out of gas beyond any imagination. NMPC is currently pursuing very many other large-scale gas projects which we could not take forward, but we're now more than ever before determined to ensure that this also progress. And in Roma, if you need more gas, talk to us. We'll find gas, we'll do business with you, so that ultimately, even on this project alone, we're seeing annual GDP contribution of over $3 billion and perhaps lifetime government revenues of up to $18 billion, even for this project. So this is a huge project.
This is Morning Crossfire.
All right, it means pretty much the direction of things and the way it will go is pretty much towards gas. And gas, it will be days to come. It looks like the concept around petrol is not so much holding forth anymore. Attention will go to gas. But for how long would it go there? And it's good because we're still continuing to burn gas, in many of our in the places where it walks down. The question then becomes, if you're tilting towards gas, then are we really working on our refinery to prioritize petrol, or should we be prioritizing gas? And then if you say you're choosing gas, do we create supply stations? Do we have enough supply stations across the nation? Will the cars go on gas? Yes. Will our cars go on gas? And will they do fine working on gas? Are there things to convert in the carburetor and the likes of that? I do know a good number of generators in Kano, for example, in Katsina and some northern places are going gas. But then, and that's essentially because gas takes a longer time to burn compared to petrol when used for generator. But the price is also surging, and it's surging really high. At the time, everybody's preaching clean energy and what comes with clean energy and the benefit of really of all of that. Meanwhile, the federal government is also keen on taking a look at what one would describe as the contracts. What contracts are running for the last 10 years, especially along the lines of roads? The minister is upset about it, is thinking about revoking contracts over 10 years. He's a former governor, and he's talking about the money Nigeria is looking for in order to complete those things. Is either we start again or just revoke the contracts. Take a listen to former Governor Umai as he speaks as a minister now.
This is Morning Crossfire.
Is going to take it. I'm aware that the contractors have been quarreling and arguing, and so I want to declare that I'm open for any kind of blackmail, but my eyes are on the ball, and my eyes are, how do we get Nigerians to have value for their money? And that is the assignment President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave to me, and I'm going to do that with the fear of God. So these were the things that I came to brief Mr. President. I want to thank him very highly for his statesmanship and a man with a very good heart. Any other president possibly will come and abandon the ongoing projects and will start his projects, but we have not initiated one single project. And apart from these two very important projects, which is under PPP, which any other project can come under PPP, he has not stopped funding the ongoing projects. And that is the legacy we are looking. That's the kind of leadership we want in the country. Because what matters is the benefit to the people of Nigeria. The ministry inherited a total of 2,604 projects worth 14 trillion naira, and for 18,000 kilometers of road. That's what we inherited. And between when we came on board and now, I think about 4 trillion has been paid. And so there is the balance of 10 trillion. Now, this 10 trillion, we have defined sources that could fund up to 4 trillion. So we have a funding gap of about 6 trillion that is there. That is what is there now. Now, we have a number of programs for our road development under the previous administration. And of course, we inherited all the projects. We've not dropped any of the projects. But curious to know that some of these projects have lasted for 20 years, some 10 years. In fact, in most cases, they are never appropriated throughout, every tenure. And so I went to seek Mr. President's nod so that I would be able to...
In the comfort of your home, on your way to work, in the midst of...
source of funding. I discussed that with Mr. President. And I also noted, and I shared it with Mr. President, the way appropriation is being done is not healthy to develop our road infrastructure. For example, for a road that may cost 10 billion, an appropriation of 150 million is made. It is just for the contractor to take and put in his pocket, because where an average cost of project that we inherited is about 700 million per kilometer, and you are giving out 150 million for the whole year, then you are just enhancing the pocket of the contractor. So I discussed with Mr. President that there is a need to engage our National Assembly members so that they will be able to prioritize, projects. Look at 2,600, number of projects, 18 kilometers of roads, and 14 trillion. That is huge.
All right, well, that makes up what he's speaking about in terms of what he's sure of and what it will be. Now, and this makes it interesting because many ministers will be validating their experience even as we speak in these various ministries. Now, over the weekend, there was the new set of ministers that were released. There were talks about the new Minister of Youth and then the Minister of States for Youth as well that was announced. People talked about how they could transform the youthful society that we do have and how they've worked extensively within the APC. So, with all sense of validity, they could carry on and carry well in their various responsibilities around that. And a few other appointments were also made over the weekend as well. But some people are also thinking former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, could be named in a position. Some say no, some say we'll still stay in the corridors of power. Some will say he would have that nameless portfolio that matters. Well, who knows? Stay with me. After the break, we start to talk more. And I'll play more things for you right here on Morning Crossfire.
To hit your imagination of TV.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1. And I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 This is Nigeria Info.
The song of Ogbomoso. And yes, he's completed his 7-day run. That's what he did only that made people wonder about.
This is Morning Crossfire.
And not all his people exist. Then he will use a different approach to handle the community. The Oba must have an open mind, and he must be very familiar with the historical process, where we started and how far we have gone. If you want, there have been many more traditional, and there are many more ones who followed the Shia religion. A few others who have been Muslim, and very few, in fact only one, the late Oba who was a Christian, 66 to 69. The new Oba is aware of all this, and therefore the major challenge in terms of diversity can be properly and the problem can be solved by being an open mind. Nobody will ask him not to listen. Nobody.
First, we have to promote him with an agenda of development, an agenda for unity, an agenda for peaceful coexistence within Ogbomoso and under for the progress of your state as a whole, because just an entity within this an agenda for unity and development of Nigeria. So
This is Morning Crossfire.
Interesting. Well, I wish him well. I would say that he would take on the role as the son of Ogbomoso. Yes, in this right. Let's take on your call. What you're thinking about quite a number of news stories here and there as they build up with different points of view over the weekend. There were also talks in the entertainment scene, talks about Mobad and what left and comments by various artists and celebrities in code who feel that about how he lived his life and really happened. Some are narrating that bad story is similar to the Green. He did something, and that's why something did him back at some point in time. What kinds of things are going on? But let me take yours, okay? Good morning to you. Welcome. Oh, that is State True. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Femi. How are you? How are you? Lovely spot from Gwagwalada.
Oh, well, she's fine.
Thank you. From the account of audio play now. Question: will the pastor over meeting Sept to traditional right of the traditional institution of that kingdom? Will he evangelize the traditional institution? Who influence one? Hello?
Yes, yeah. You said what? I didn't follow through.
I said, will the pastor over submitting to traditional right of the overship?
They said he has completed his 7 days right. I don't know what that entails, but it was done.
Or it is the pastor over that evangelize the traditional institution.
Oh,
who will influence one?
This question is past my power.
Who will influence one? It is over pastor over all the traditional institution. It's a very interesting question. Thank you. Have a nice day, sir.
All right. Your curiosity is in place. It's a good play because I do that like that too. Good morning. Good morning. Barely can hear you. Please forgive me. I have to take a call. Okay. Good morning to you.
Good morning, work class of media. I remember humble self Bakar Ali, aka Tinubu Pekin, I'm calling PW Kubwa. They are saying that goes who cannot practice the display of peace, those who cannot accept their fault when presented before them, shall have it forced on them by circumstances. And let me coin my own. I don't like to put people from consequences of time. The people need to learn the hard way. There is an Hausa adage that say, picking with the slap, just sense, picking with sense. Our motor issue with those daggers. Believe you, a ton of explanation could make somebody who has made up his mind on a particular subject matter. But one emotion cannot remove facts. They say facts are sacred, right? So please, we should learn to accept some things. They are beyond us. Let's just act and move forward. And Femi, I'm not happy with the video I watched over the weekend of former president, what he does to those Oba. Actually, I'm not happy. And that should not be allowed to repeat itself. Thank you very much for opportunity. I hope my day will be very great.
Okay, no problem. I don't even know what to answer again.
Money pay, I hope I'm doing very great. No answer. They laugh. We all wrong.
I want to talk now. Leave me. Bye-bye you. Good morning to you. Welcome. Oh, that's stay true. Okay, nobody's even behind me. I'm doing great again. Now, wow, this stop my turn. They just shanked me again. Away me. Okay, no, wow. Good morning to you. Welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome. Yes, good morning. This is you.
I'm back already.
Oh, I'm ready. Welcome.
Our past president, Obasanjo, misbehaved. Just let me put that in.
Okay. Why do you say misbehave?
He desecrated the traditional rulers. Time Moria, even the fully colonial rule. Most or virtually all of them, except those people that they will force them to. Even some of them would prefer people leave their destiny and take a proper destiny and leave. But in the history, traditional rulers are more than any institution. Seriously, and that's why, although the law comes in and we are in the foreign system, and that is why today the issue of security will continue having it. Because when the power was with this tradition, they know how to monitor their areas. Now, let me ask you, what does past president get for what he has done? He later came and said, look, there are two things that you have to respect in our culture. The elder and the final ruler. And the people in the authority, yes, people in the authority. Yeah, the governor is the authority, but their own authority is a timeless something. Not anybody big. Can you do when Sokoto is on seat? Or the opinion or your people? No, not that. He will meet Waterloo. It is absolute desperation of traditional ruler, and it's left to them. Let them follow whatever react, and that someone let's say can cause chaos. In the if it is you, it can cause chaos. The man will not even go scot-free. So anybody seeing that maybe you are right, okay, you are saying what is the concern with what he said earlier and what he later after said, and what does he gain for him to say stand up? If they are reciting national anthem, everybody knows you have to respect the rule.
So, but you do know there's something that lays out a little bit to his favor. Now, it is believed that when they are sitting on their stool, now mark words, on their stool, or we call their throne, right?
Yes.
And you're visiting them, or you're there when they're there. That is a seat of power, and the staff of office where they are is there. At that point in time, you cannot, no human being, I would say, can decide otherwise than to greet them the appropriate way, which will be to prostrate. Hold on, sir. Let me make my point, and I'm sure you'll be able to argue for or against it, okay? Now, when they attend a government function, and I say government function, I didn't say public function, government function meaning they've been asked by governor of the state or a government official to come in their capacity as traditional rulers or obas, an occasion organized by the government, a party, not any other thing. And they are not sitting on their stool, right? This is the other part of the argument. And they're not sitting on the stool, meaning they're not sitting on their own throne, okay? It is expected that they coordinate themselves according to the norm of that system. Now, in this interest, let me say this. In a state, the governor is the highest, okay? So when a governor calls you, and I don't think it was Obasanjo being upset about himself. I think he was upset about the governor, Imakide, not being, stood for when he did come. Okay, I think that was what really upset him, not even himself. He's a former president, okay? So to show that's really what upset him. So the question then becomes, how do you coordinate yourself in public, okay? It's a similar experience. They know things, they do. They know how they're supposed to coordinate themselves when they're in public space and when they're in the throne room, okay? Now, two things also to make matter is that on ideal conditions, when the person speak, right, is higher than you and validate you to say, I greet you, please say, don't stand, don't this, don't that, especially a governor or a president, right? But it is being the person's right to say that. I'm not saying it's Obasanjo that they have to stand up for, since he's a former president. But the way they coordinate their affairs within their own throne room and palace is different. Governors, their authority within the palace is slightly different when they're in a government occasion, not public occasion, government occasion. So that's where the argument lies.
Okay. Bless you, my brother. You see, when I visited out of Sokoto as far as 2002, and I do visited some traditional rulers, I don't prostrate, but I show a sign of respect that they are on truth in their palace. Wallahi, the blood that has my soul, they take it if I'm lying. You understand? In fact, this president of Sokoto and us, in fact, took us and assisted us for what our issue to him. He never said, why didn't you straight for us? And he was putting on in his palace. Before that was the day I know that the man is also a man of one of the EPL clubs. We watched the game together in inner.
That's the Sultan of Sokoto, right?
Sultan of Sokoto, the president of Sokoto. Come to my own town. No governor will go and meet the king on his throne for trade. Really, any governor that they do go. It doesn't mean that yes, there are some that are exempted in traditional setting that even the king will not expect you to even portray him. You understand what I'm saying? What Obasanjo is, I'm still asking a question. What does he want? Now, the program will start officially by everybody standing up and recite national anthem. It's a sign of respect for the authority. It's enough. But try to create an unnecessary, and I know quite all right that even when government comes in, some of them will go, they will stand up and go and greet government. So this system does not have any basis at all, okay, and the man has lost his value. It's just a lost glory.
Okay. All right, thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Interesting position. And this position that I just explained, it changes with people from people to people. Some will say, oh, you're right. Some will say you're wrong about it. I'm just telling you how that plays out in public space. Good morning. Government space. Yes, good morning.
This is Comrade from Sept here.
All right, Comrade.
How are you enjoying the moon?
Well, we're making money moon right now. I'm looking for money. If you have money, give me. Nobody ask me. If you give me money, then we can talk about honeymoon. Okay? I'm recovery mood.
Money will come by God's grace.
Hey, my friend. Thanks for your call. Go on.
You see, I love what Devon, the minister, said. I'm so happy with him, provided Supreme Court will not sack him.
Are you there? I'm listening to you.
Yes, are you here?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Mommy said something this morning about our roads, state of our roads. From Lagos, there's no road. From East, we are used to it, there's no road. Eastern part of Nigeria, there's no road. Second Niger Bridge, which have spent abandoned. The government never intended Agni to do that. Agreed. It's a political bridge. Yeah. Thank you. That's my take this one.
All right. Thank you. Grateful to you. Thanks so much. Okay. Let's take some more calls. I don't know if you're with me. It doesn't matter if you agree with me. I just want to be nice to get your view on this. Okay. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Femi.
How are you today?
Nothing breaking news like the news.
Oh, yes. And I can prove it, dear friend. Welcome.
So, yeah, Wonko.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I want to appreciate the last caller for just a short and brief contribution. Keep it up. Talk about me, my own is what I hear this morning for this newspaper about the price of gas.
Okay. Yes, please do.
Honestly, in fact,
Oh, there. Are you there?
Is there any country? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And I always ask this question, is there any country produce crude and doesn't refine? Why is that our own and we're not comparing ourselves with other countries? It's the same thing. It happened. No, it doesn't happen like that in other. You are talking of at the rate of 18,000 naira by December, and the minimum wage is still there at the rate of 30,000 naira. Even they can't even pay that amount. So something to be done. Inflate this price to this amount. Something needs to be done. Government must do the needful in the aspect of this price. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Grateful to you. Thanks for your viewpoint on that. Okay, I'm still taking more calls, and I'm really curious to know what you're thinking. If you're with me on this or differently, there are different this. I visited the Emir of Dutse once, and he was so elated to receive us. While he was elated to receive us, everybody still followed pretty much of what one would describe as the protocol of the day. Now, one of the reasons why when you do go to the king's palace is you bow low. You his head is higher than the king in the room. That's another point to make. But things are different. Are we modernizing, or just confusing, something like that? Is that experience? Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, welcome, sir.
This is Dr. Omipashaki once again.
Okay, Dr. Wal, good to have you.
The analysis on Major's case and the king is very appropriate. When your palace, you have every and I say somebody, the most of the governors, and like Obama just said, they do prostrate while they are in the palace. When you are outside, you should conclude yourself to the fact that you are being invited by the government. So the protocol respect should be given to the government. Even in a wedding party, even if the others are there and the couples are coming in, everybody will stand up for them. It's a sign of respect for the newly met couple. So it should be the same in the when you are being invited to public functions by the government, you will respect them. That's by the side. That's of the thing. I believe we have policies on papers in a very, very perfect. But implementation is the problem. I have been saying, Shivem said that we have enough to go around everybody in this country, but it can never be enough for the free. If we have no endowed in this country, we should not be this kind of thing we are. I hope this new will tap into all our resources and make it a beneficial to me. And that's why I've been appealing to the labor leaders to please give government a chance so that we can see what they are worth and give it about 6 months to actually see what they are renewed hope is bringing to the table of Nigeria.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. Wara Gayado writes and it says, good morning, dear Nigerians. Question to AXA. Nigeria 1999 Constitution. Any section that says tradition can sponsor a candidate presidency or any relevant position. Lastly, I love traditional should occupation to be in charge of an oath. Okay, that's oath taking. All right, interesting. Power Nasakura says, good morning, FMD. What, please, powers or authority does Obasanjo just stand to ask those traditional rules? Some of are even older than him. Stand up and sit down. Have a great day. That's Pius asking that question. Good morning, FMD. My name is Femi's name. I'm reacting to Obasanjo and the others. The day that our traditional leaders stay away from politics is the day they'll be respected. Okay? And here's another message. This says from Pius. Hey, sir. Oh, dear. Good day, sir. It sent me quite a number of things. I'm just going to... Olufuturoti in Suleja writing, it says, Ile Ekaro Ojire is another way of describing Yoruba. The term Karo Ojire refers to people greeting like they are in their life. Literally translated in term means good morning. Hope you woke in Yoruba language. So what ex-president says the land of greeting with a Karo Ojire. Okay. Please, I want to confirm if the federal government concluded great ministries because I feel there's no need for that ministry. A department under Ministry of Agriculture can handle it. Which ministry are you referring to? I know there were talks about a new ministry being created, but not too sure which one now. From the morning, President Obasanjo said it's supposed to be, please Femi, tell me where Oba or King or Chief has ever removed the gun in the whole of Nigeria in Nigeria. I'm Michael from Madala. Interesting thoughts you do share. Okay. From D, good morning. Impeaching Akpabio is not the best, but it should try and separate the executives from the legislators to avoid issues of rubber stamp. Jude from back home writes that in. Good morning, FMD. I'm glad you quickly intervened in the last speaker speaking in tongues. Well done, Nikki. Nikki writes in. Thank you. Good morning, Femi, and good people of FCT. Says I've said Good morning, FMD. Keep up the good work. Agreed with Abila totally. Things must be done right in Nigeria. Probably against politics is the National Assembly will always play out if issues can expose the activities that are on is put in public domain. Chris BJ from Outer Bali. Oh, my regards, by the way, to Mamizi, Salasi Abubakar, Tinubu Pekin, Abubakar from Gwagwalada, Umar Parastasin, and Dr. Majida Hiru, and all Nigerian info callers. Chima from Apo says, good morning, family. Plea bargain is a legal means of resolving litigation matters, especially corruption, narcotics, money laundering. Is good, but indirectly encourages corruption. Billions of naira will be looted by individuals, and plea bargain will set them free and still allow them to go with part of loot. Looters should return all their loot and face the full consequences of their act in court. If a merely looted our trade, let justice take its course. Okay, Chima from Apo writes that in. Bulus from Ascot says, good morning, FMD. I want to ask, does Professor Soyinka have a problem with Obi before now? Or what does Baba keep attacking Obi till the election is over? If Baba went for electoral contest and the organizers decided to change the method of assessing them at the end of the game to favor his opponent, will he challenge the process or he would allow it to be? Good evening, FMD. Who wants to impeach the Lion of Africa? Those who want to impeach Akpabio never try to impeach Lawa. Akpabio forever. Joshua Kuba writes that in. CC from Jay says, hello, FMD. Momzi was absolutely correct on the road issue because my brother was a victim as it took him 2 good days to arrive in Lagos from Onitsha. To Lagos is really terrible, honestly. Moses C. there. Good morning, FMD. Emeka from NPC Towers. Floods wreak havoc in Lagos, Bayelsa, Delta, and in some states, FMD. Don't forget that Nigerians were left in their own mercy because of floods 2 years ago. What does the government want to do about it? Absolutely nothing, because they are not affected by this natural disaster. Is it a rocket science to fix our roads and construct some dam in Nigeria? Do you know that Egypt with oceans, and they have no witness in that country because the Egyptian government constructed that to control it? Here we are in Nigeria, one blind eye from it. From this, very painful and unfortunate that Nigeria yet to have a true leader who is patriotic enough as a Nigerian. As for Akpabio's impeachment saga, they should immediately impeach him because it doesn't fit him. And as for Soyinka, always attack on Peter Obi and the obedient, why always us, obedient man, Emeka writes that in. Comrade Chris Eziocha says this administration is appointing too many ministers considering the realities of our time, which should be circumspect on our acts and inactions. Nigeria indeed are suffering from unimaginable hardship, he writes. Well, that's how much I can take for today. Okay. This very morning. I've got to step away from at this time. Thank you so much for being part of the if you want to catch up with the show and always watch again on Facebook, it's there for you, or YouTube. Go back, watch, and if you're not following us on any platforms, do the same today. Remember to update your Nigeria Info app on any of the stores that you use, and I'm sure you get the best of sellers from that platform. Thanks for being part of it. Keep up with me on all social media platforms at FMD Live. Morning to you. Enjoy your day.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can put it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day. The way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.